I was just like, I don't know what time I work tomorrow.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. For your segment?
I think we should just free. Yeah, like. I'm talking. I already.
No, that is mine.
We're talking about relationships or something later on.
My username?
No.
Interracial. You do? They all off.
There's one that's not.
No, they're all off.
Too patient now, just pass it down. Back and forth, you're out the door, then want some more. Too patient now, I'm screaming out. You won't allow me to be great. I graduated, and you just hate my progression to higher things. Don't hold me back, I'm ready for my life to change. You might win and you might lose sometimes, but when you finally win, you'll make them lose their mind. You might win and you might lose sometimes, but when you finally win, you'll make them lose their mind, their mind. No patience now, I'm jetting out the door again, just to begin my great days. No tolerance for your nonsense. I can't wait to levitate to excellence. No patience now, no turning round, just to allow your hatefulness to pull me down. You might win and you might lose sometimes, but when you finally win, you'll make them lose their mind. You might win and you might lose sometimes.
Hub Radio. I still have to be able to be true to myself.
When it comes to hair and natural hair and people, like whether you got the curliest hair or the kinkiest hair or your hair is
taking the initiative to serve the underserved, no matter what form or shape or fashion.
A princess always wears a crown over long hair flowing down, never over braids or afros. Well, I was that little girl learning hatred for my curls, and I tried to burn them straight till a new reality broke through and settled over me. That God herself in love.
The Hub. What's up? Good evening, everyone, and you are tuned in to Queen Stable Talk here on the Hub Radio. I am your host, Mo Knows Best, and I am here with my dear friends, my fellow queens, Miss Lovey Leah. And Miss Jasmine Renee.
What's up?
Yes, you're giving me life with the scarf today.
And my hair is pin curl. That was
Yeah.
either that or this. So.
No, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You got like that look going on. I told Aaliyah that she kind of like gave me some church vibes when she came in today.
Yeah, I guess I came like straight from work, so.
But I like it. It works for you. Yeah, no,
like
for real.
Diana Ross.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. Yes,
And then,
ma'am.
Isn't that your girl? Well, her daughter is your girl.
Tracy.
Oh,
Tracy Ellis Ross.
I love her.
Yes, ma'am. But how you guys doing today? I have not talked to you all week. Okay.
To come
Yeah.
from.
You
I
don't
was
respond.
like-
No, you don't respond to my text
I'm
messages.
really-
I don't
okay.
ever know what you're doing.
Guys,
Let
when
me know.
I'm at work, like I'll look real quick and then I'll totally forget. Like I will forget. Like I will forget. So it's better to call me honestly than to
Okay.
text me nowadays.
I'm like that
You
too.
just-
Sometimes, like I don't have my like availability in terms of like texting and calling down to a T.
Mhm.
So it's like sometimes it's better to call me. Sometimes I can respond to text. Sometimes days in class where I can be on my phone. Sometimes it's not.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm doing the radio station. Sometimes I'm not. So it's
Mhm.
just I don't know. It's like
When
a luck
your
of the
mind
draw.
is always going, you
Right.
just be like,
And it's like you respond, but like
you
some
respond
responses.
in your head sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't you? Yeah.
Or some responses, like, Bo was looking at my phone the other day and she was like, why don't you respond to your text messages? And I'm like, because none of these messages, call for a response. And she was just like, you just going to leave them like that? And I'm like, they're saying okay, or they gave me the answer that I needed. I was able to see it without clicking on it. So then I just, move on.
But I was just talking about the notification. Like, just seeing that I have 50 unread text messages, it bothers me. So I have to open all of them. I don't like that.
Well, that's because you can't deal with, like, distractions around.
I can't. I'm like,
get, like-
a
Yeah,
major
Yeah,
OCD.
If I saw that it was like like the subway message or something, I'm like, It's not
Or
like
if
a
you
big
say,
deal.
okay, if I ask you, hey,
Yeah.
are you good for next week? And you say, yeah, I'm good. All right, then we good. I don't need to keep this conversation going.
But I was like, let me just make sure that you're okay. I said, because I haven't
yeah.
talked to you. I text you like 3 times this week. You didn't even respond.
Dang.
I was
3
like,
times you're exaggerating.
Well, you didn't respond in the group.
you did not respond to the group message.
I was like, in my head, I was like, oh
There
my
was like
gosh.
30 messages up in there. You never responded.
I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so dope going horseback riding with the wine and stuff. And I was like, oh, that'll be so cool. In my head, I said, wow, I gotta check my schedule so that I can make sure I can go. And then I don't know.
But you didn't respond to the other message though, because we were having a whole debate the other day. And
That
you
was
didn't
in
even.
our
About-
Instagram.
Yeah, but it was Aaliyah was still a part of it
About
though.
what?
No, she wasn't.
You wasn't a part of it.
We were talking on Instagram on Sunday. It was just me.
Oh, because you know why? Because okay, I thought I put you guys in a group, but that was just you. Okay,
That's
I'm sorry.
confusing.
That
That's
is confusing.
When I try to send it in a group that I thought I already had established, it's like individually.
Oh my god, I thought I had
I was
both
like,
of you
I'm
guys
getting
in the
trouble
group.
For something I didn't even do.
Oh my goodness.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
How can you hear her?
I thought I was loud.
Well, I can hear like the,
Hey,
the
hey.
echo.
No, Rick,
It's.
do it again. Try it again. Speak.
Can you hear me? All of them.
Is
All
that
right, go
good?
again. Speak again.
Can you hear me now? Can everybody?
Okay,
Radio
perfect.
land.
Y'all
Hear
excuse the
me.
technical
We are
difficulties.
back.
We're
Guys,
back,
we're
y'all.
QTT.
QTT is back.
So basically, I was just, if you didn't hear me, I was basically getting in trouble for something I didn't even know I was a part
Yeah,
of.
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
what?
I wasn't a part of.
No, because I told her she didn't respond back.
It was one message.
Okay, but I be getting confused sometimes. 'Cause I know up on Instagram, like before, when you would want to send a message to people, it would automatically put you in a group.
Mhm.
But I think now it sends separate messages
Yeah,
to people.
Which is dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb.
I don't know how to make a whole group. You know what I mean?
You just go
Yeah.
add, because I do it all the time for initiative. You just add
Mhm.
the plus sign, you can add them, you click them all, and then you can see like their bubble.
Mhm.
Once their bubble is blue, then they're all in the message. But I always have messages. I mean, I always have group messages for like the performers and
Oh,
the
okay.
vendors.
I'm always in groups, but like I never like actually created one, so I don't know. You're not clearly, but
The shade.
Shots are
Oh,
fired.
But yes, you guys. Okay, what you guys been up to? Okay, because I haven't seen you since last week. I saw you last week, but we'll get into our week. What you been up to?
Honestly, whenever I always fear this question because I'm like, dang, what did I do the whole weekend? Like, it just flies by for me, honestly. So, I don't remember.
You don't remember what you
I
did?
don't remember what I did this
Oh,
weekend.
okay, we'll tell you what we did. Okay, so So what we did was last week I participated in Career Day.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
yes, Career Day. Jasmine invited myself along with Hub City J, the Good News, and then along with TMO, shout out to her, to do Career Day. And Tia and I, we had led a workshop on media production and marketing. And it was for all girls. So it was girls in media and marketing and whatnot. So it was awesome. It was a great experience. Number one, it was my first Career Day participating in. And then not only that, is just to see the engagement of the girls and for them to be in high school and kind of like, I like when schools take initiatives like that, like where they get kids thinking, because sometimes like when you get them like out of like the normal like English, math, and science, like they're able to maybe like be more interactive and be more engaged with something that they're interested in. Right. And it was really good. We were talking about different marketing campaigns, different successful marketing campaigns. And one of the girls, she was saying that she loved Fenty Beauty and how she loves makeup and whatnot. And we had a whole conversation about that. But just so happened, it was actually our next slide. We were talking about Fenty Beauty. And they all were so excited. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh.
They can relate.
Yeah, they can relate to it. Yeah, and you had brought up a good point, like how the classes were separated by males and females too. So I think that was a good thing that they did.
Yeah, that's what I had told them would be best. Just personally knowing you and Tia, and personally knowing Dre and Keith and Rob, and I knew that them two would be doing a group together, and then you two would be doing a group together. So I was like, I feel like it would be more beneficial for you guys to just have the girls, and which it was, and. Dre, Keith, and Robbie from the Good News, they had, my boys, and they were in there and held that down. And then when I was walking in with you guys were holding it down. Yeah. For the girls, so it really did work out. It was because those kids are something, and I love them to death, but they are something. But yeah, it was very beneficial for them. I didn't really get to step into any of the other, in my class there was another workshop, but I was just in and out of yards of those two. So but yeah, it seemed to go pretty well. So I was actually very excited, very stoked to just see that, to see people that I know here, or see that I'm able to bring people that the kids are willing to listen to, because it's not easy getting up in front of them every day. Right.
No, I understand. And even like what you said with bringing people that kids will listen to, because I was like nervous the whole time. Like even like me and Tia, we're like, okay, like what should we talk about? How are we gonna get them engaged? I'm like, we'll just be ourselves, because I'm like, when it comes to kids, I'm like, mind you, like, it's been a while. It's been a while since I was a freshman. Like, I thought it was cool. Like they even taught me some new stuff. Like they told me there was a shade room for teenagers. They said it was a shade room teen page on Instagram. I didn't know that.
They said,
Teach me something.
It was some teenage couple that was together, now they're not together, but they post stuff like that, and it's a lot. I'm realizing, since I have the kids and I allow them to follow me, and if I'll be flipping through the Instagram stories, their stuff will just pop up. What we see on Instagram is completely different from what they see. They have that whole like spam Instagram thing now, where you have two accounts. One is your personal account, and another one is like where you put your spam stuff, and all of that. But yeah, that was it was they have a lot of different things that we don't even see. So I'm realizing that in following them, that it's like.
But yeah, they taught me a lot of new stuff, and then on top of that, we had them do like their own like activity to where they had to create their own business, and they had to pitch it to us, which was really, really fun for them to see.
Necessary. I was glad to walk in on that too. Yeah,
and then the initiative. The initiative. I have to say, mind you, okay, like I've been to most of your initiative events, but I feel like this one was like my favorite because not only like, of course, because of the artists that were there, but also because I had brought the little homie Terrence. He goes to my church, but I brought him with me, and he's like into radio. He wants to do music and he wants to rap and whatnot. And I brought him, and he had such a great time, and it was just really, really just amazing just to see how inspired that he was, because I think he's 19. So he was so inspired, and on top of that, he's a fan of Thomas Da Vinci, so he was like starstruck when he saw him, and he did. He got a picture with him and everything, but it was the nicest thing to see, and I loved it. And even when you brought your kids up there, I thought that was really, really nice too, just to have your kids up there and say, you know what, okay, if you guys do better in school, then you know I'll give you guys opportunity to get up here and do your thing and to rap. And I thought that was really nice because kids need that. Yeah, so just like you said, yeah. Exactly, like people believe in you, and the first time that you performed, it was because of my teacher. Exactly. So that was really nice. So I loved it. I left feeling very, very good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's I mean that's what it's about. It's about like what you said. I mean he's in the gap. Terrence is in the gap of me and my kids, and a lot of people don't know. My kids don't even know that in a few years my kids will be my running buddies. Because I'm so young and they're in high school. So in a few years, I remember I was listening to a podcast with Angela Rye, and I think she was talking to Don Lemon or something, and he's 7 years younger than her, but they're basically in the same field at this point in time. My kids are 6 years younger than me. So I'm like, people ask, you know, you're really trying to change, the younger generation, and I'm like, those kids are with me. Like, at the end of the day, those kids are my running buddies. So it's not, I mean, not right now, but in a few years, you won't be able to tell the difference between our age. So I'm not, I care for them as if they are me. I tell people often, like, we want to see a change in the world. And I know this can sound like a cliche, but whatever it was that you were missing, you need to be that for somebody else. And that's where you keep provoking change and different things to happen. It's like, if you didn't have that and you're going through deficiencies as someone who didn't have that, imagine if you could be what you didn't have to somebody else, just to one person. And then as a result, their life now changes and they're able to be a better something to somebody else. So for my kids, I tell them all the time, I can't relate to them at all. We talk about it all the time. We were born in very sheltered, situations. We had both of our parents around. We were all raised in the church. My kids were not. And it makes me feel like I owe that to the world to give, because I was fortunate to have so much that I owe that to them. So I give them all of me, and they know, I support them through it all. And those are, some of the rough ones. Like, in terms of, if I were to sit here and show you them in terms of academics, in terms of them sitting in class, in terms of attendance, what they do in class, you'll be like, people will write them off. And that's one thing where I gravitate towards those students, because once society writes you off, everybody writes you off, So it's like, just come in and being able to be a light for them. And they had so much fun. They were like, Miss Gates, you want to come back, and all of that. And I loved the guys. They really embraced them, which was something that I really wanted to happen. So we had like 10 or 12 male artists up there that were backing them, and that was like super dope. That really meant, nice to see. That really meant a lot to me. And those are my brothers. Like, at the end of the day, those guys like are always they have my back no matter what. So I appreciated that, and seeing my boys, my little babies being up there, just being surrounded by love and the guys that I definitely look up to. So it was a dope event, and March 31st is the next one. So
yes, open mic night, March 31st.
Yes, everybody's been asking me to perform, so I'm like, if you want to come perform, this is the time, because I don't ever do open mics, so this is the time to come out.
Yes, I think Terrence wants to perform.
He said he is. So I told him I'll put him on the list.
So you can show out here inspiring everybody. So we'll be back in 5 minutes after these commercial breaks. We're gonna come back with some Black Girl Magic. Stay tuned.
The hub. The hub.
Everybody gonna try. Girl, all the bitches, girl, all the bitch niggas, they want you. Girl, all the bitch niggas, all the bitch niggas, they want you. Want her, all the rich niggas want her. Everybody gonna try. Girl, all the bitch niggas, girl, all the bitch niggas, girl, all the bitch niggas, they want you. Girl, all the bitch niggas.
Miss me with that bullshit.
You ain't really wild, you a tourist. I be blacking out with the purist. I paid 100,000, I freaked it. I paid 500,000, I freaked it. I bought an 87 for the weekend. This ain't what you want, this ain't what you want. This ain't what you want, this ain't what you want.
And it's like that look. MVP, I don't get no sleep, no, I don't like that look. Bust that open, I want that ocean, yeah, that bite back look. Louis bite back look. Need 2 life jacks look. I ain't gon' hold you, I ain't gon' pressure, never control you. I ain't gon' front you, keep it 100, I don't know you. Boss like Top Dog, boss my life up, crossing over. Started stepping, got a Hall of Fame and all my poster. I've been ready, my whip been ready, my been ready, my click been ready, my checks been ready, my shots on full, that's Armageddon. I got pull, I hope y'all ready, my tank on full, you know unleaded. I gotta go get it, I gotta go get it, I gotta.
I'm here because I heard such great things about it. It's just something amazing about so many different people from different places, different backgrounds, different cultures coming to really help. And so it's amazing looking around, everyone just putting their pride down, putting their egos away, and just doing the dirty work, cleaning up, painting. It doesn't matter what they do, what they ask us to do, just do it. So it actually lifts me up. It just helps that, like, I don't know, there's hope in this world because of this. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Worldwide study proves that U.S. schools are drastically far behind other countries.
I just struggle with my kids day in and day out. They have such a hard time with multiplication. I need a program that works.
Multiplication is probably the most difficult subject for my kids.
The United States is not doing well in the classroom. We have no one to blame but ourselves.
This generation needs something a little more innovative.
We're either going to have to compete and work harder and do the things we need to do, or we're going to be left out in the world.
Let's multiply, let's multiply, multiply, multiply. Learn our 1, 2s, and 3s. Let's multiply, 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 multiply. Learn our 1, 2s, and 3s. Rhythm on the block, hey, let's have some fun. Let's multiply, let's get it. 1 times 1 is 1. Rolling with the whiz. Now study every day, stick with it, handle your business. Let's multiply, let's multiply.
Look, life on the edge, get a grip. Know that they want me to slip. Hustle but something to quit. Ain't no pitch down for this.
Somebody else was born, but at least we got to say we ran on the digit, we ran on the money, we ran on the digit, we ran on that money, we ran on the digit, we ran on the money. We ran on the digit, we ran on the money, we ran on the digit, we ran on some money.
Coco's lip smacking cup.
Subsidy Dre is in here interrupting us.
We're showing photos.
Y'all want me back on the show? No. No, I'm just kidding. You can
come.
Put your button up. Right. Well, this is, yeah. He put on his good shirt today.
He did. Oh my god. This is my Christian shirt. Oh my god.
You wear Christian shirts? That's your Bible study? Hey, today is Bible study. It's Tuesday, so you're on track. Yes. Homeboy Holy Ghost Bible study.
Shout out to Homeboy Holy Ghost too. Well, my pastor is
Reverend Mario. What is it, Tapatio Rio? Reverend Tapatio Rio. Shout out to you.
Shout out to him. Yeah, he's my personal trainer now.
Have you been? I thought you said he ain't been hitting you.
No, he has.
Oh. We gotta come for all of Dre's homies. I actually settled my beef with Day. And then not all. He was talking mess. I had to set him straight. He talked mess to you. What you mean?
To me?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Like he told me about you, and that's when I came.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had to set him straight.
Oh no, I thought you guys were cool now.
No, we're cool now.
You pressed your issue.
I pressed my issue. Okay. And they got it together. Yes. So.
Don't mess with the queens here at the.
Hello. Don't we press it?
Pressing. Okay.
I was about to say something else.
Let's get into
some black girl magic, y'all. So, you guys, so have you seen this little girl, this 2-year-old girl? Her name is Parker Curry.
Yes.
And she, this picture went viral of her. And she was at the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery. And she was just staring at this picture of Michelle Obama. And she was just awestruck by it. And this is actually the picture we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago we were talking about this portrait after it got unveiled. And she was saying that she was a queen, and she was just so amazed by Michelle Obama.
They met.
They did, yeah. They met today.
They met, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, Michelle Obama, she met her today, and they had danced together, and she had posted up on her Twitter page, and Michelle Obama had said, she said, Parker, I'm so glad that I had a chance to meet you today and for the dance party. Keep on dreaming big for yourself, and maybe one day I'll probably look up to a portrait of you.
Right.
And this really just touched my heart, and a tear like came down. And it's because I'm PMSing right now too. What? So I was just crying. I cried everything. So it was just the cutest thing. It really was to see this because y'all stupid. Because we need that kind of representation, y'all. We really do need that kind of representation. Just for black women, I get to see her, look up to her. And on top of that, too, when the unveiling of the portrait happened initially, Michelle Obama had said, I'm thinking about all the young people, particularly girls and girls of color, who in years will come to this place and they will look up and see someone who looks like them hanging on the walls of this great institution. So, I mean, she said it, and I mean, of course, you have a little girl who's inspired by her. So
you have to understand how important that is, and I always shout out to my dad for being. And I literally did not realize how important it was that he did this for me until a few months ago, because I talked about it on here, connecting with your inner child. We would go to the library and go get black videos. He would tell me, all your projects have to be on black people. He would give me black books. I had a life-size black Barbie. Everything that I did was black, and he wasn't pressing it up on me. It was just, this is you. Here, this is what you should have. This is what you should do. You should love yourself. And he didn't press it up on me, but now I feel like that has made me this pro-black person who's proud to be black, because I always had these positive images of me, and we're not seeing that as a society. So I couldn't imagine not having a positive image of myself and going through life feeling like you can take your skin off, because that's literally how it makes you feel when you don't have a positive image of what you look like. Every time you get a Barbie, every time you get a toy, every time you look on TV, it's something that does not look like you. So it makes you feel like you're not in the right space, or that in life. Yeah. So I think this is so important, along with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, y'all know. It's serious. It really is that. And I'm so glad that we have these images. It's so necessary for us and our girls, to see them, to see their minds switching and going back and forth, because I work with them, to see them seeing the Love and Hip Hops and then also seeing the positive role models. You can tell that they're now seeing that there's a difference. There's Ratchet and then there's Good. Okay, so now they're in this place hey, we want to be the Michelle Obamas and not the, Cardi B's. And rappers are saying it in their songs. So it's you're getting that image in your head. So I think this is, it's a representation of what's happening to our girls all over America.
Yeah. Right. And also I think that even just me personally, it's just a nice reminder that you don't have to be, like you were saying, the Cardi B, to be sexy, to be beautiful. Right. It kind of is young and old. You kind of you're affected by it. You're I see Michelle Obama and I aspire to be a woman of caliber like her. Right. So this is just beautiful to see that she's getting something from it, and that even somebody, in their 20s is getting something from it. So.
Right. Yeah. Right. And let me just say this real quick, because a lot of the articles that I had saw when I was scrolling through when I saw this picture, they was this little girl thought Michelle Obama was a queen. I was like, first of all, she is a queen. She is. First of all, let's just let that be known. Right. Let me just make that clear. Okay. But we also have Tia Norflet. Your Fleet.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to her. She's the world's first black female NASCAR driver.
That's who I was talking about last week.
And what's crazy is that, so last week we talked about the first black woman to own a NASCAR team. But she's like the first black NASCAR driver. Yeah. And going back to what you had mentioned about how your dad had like all those positive images for you.
Her dad is also a NASCAR driver too.
Yeah, she was saying that her dad like really influenced her in her love for driving. She said even when she had like a little Barbie car when she was younger, like he pretty much like decked it all out, and she said that he put like a little radio up in it, like so cool. Yeah, it is cool, and she's beautiful too.
She's so beautiful.
Yeah. And
just looking at her do this is just like, it just makes me think like, I already knew it, but it just reinforces that black women can do anything.
We can,
literally, and succeed in it.
Yeah.
And just looking at her being in NASCAR, which you don't ever see, like first off, women or women of color, it's just like, dang, like just do it. You just all you can do is just feel happy for her. Just
and we're in every arena, y'all.
Right.
Like really, like we're
and it makes
everywhere.
You think like if you think about when we got started or when we were able to actually like compete, and then look at colonizers and that they've been able to compete for as long as they had. It makes you think like we are really out here. Flourishing, but didn't start. We didn't start at the same starting point.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like we're now, because there is a lot of racism going on. We aren't able to be paid as much as we should be being paid and all of that. But if you think of what we are producing, we're producing so much more than basically any other race in terms of what we're putting out, in terms of our athleticism, in terms of our talents, like Black Panther and all the numbers that did.
Yeah, they're almost like at the 1 billion
mark. And that is the
mark.
first all black. It's not like he had, trial and error. It was a trial and success. Right. So just to see like us doing that, the bobsledding, we talked about her, right? Yeah. The lady that's doing the bobsledding, or just looking at once we step on the scene, like we smash everything.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
we really, and it's like if she's the best right now at bobsledding, imagine how many other black females are super good at it but just aren't getting the opportunity to.
Yeah. Right. No, and then also too, I had read where she has PCOS. And for anybody who doesn't know what that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a disorder pretty much that causes you to suffer from small cysts on your ovaries. So it makes you like bleed, and it makes you have periods sporadically. So she says sometimes like when she drives, like sometimes like she can just like have her period while she's driving. So can you imagine like having to go through that, but yet you still like are out there racing?
So even with the heaviness on us, we're still succeeding.
Still succeeding, yeah.
Starting at the same finish line, we're carrying weight on us and still passing people up. So
yeah, no, that's very inspiring. It's very inspiring. And I'll tell you what else makes me smile. Ava DuVernay. So last week she. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. I was like, that was a good segue.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you, queens. Okay, so she teamed up with Disney to create a pop-up theater right here in Compton at the Dollar Hyde. So, her new movie is called A Wrinkle in Time. And I don't know, fun fact, you guys, she is the first black woman to direct a film with a budget of over $100 million.
And I also want to put out there, she just posted something, or somebody posted something. She said she did not go to film school or pick up a camera until she was 32 years old. Yeah. And I was thinking, like, and look at what she's doing. Like, look when we get started, what we can accomplish. Like, 32? And we out here thinking, like, we got to hurry up and get our lives together and do all of this. Like, patience is key. It is. Patience is key. And waiting sometimes, like, maybe if she would have got started 10 years ago, they would have knocked her down because she was a black woman and we weren't as accepted. She had to wait her time until maybe God was preparing the world for her to be able to come and make her, big debut. But I saw that. I think I saw it this morning or yesterday, and I'm just like, wow, and she's just so graceful.
Yes, she is.
She's just like full of grace and just a light, a true light. And I'm like, I'm sure even how, what is her name? I don't know. She goes to your church. The lady that won an award at the Compton Champions.
Miss Diddy?
Miss Diddy. She was saying how Asia, she's seen her in the face of people that have been trying to put her down, but she still like exudes grace.
Right.
So I'm like, I know Ava, DuVernay in the face of, or in a force in a you know, dominated by a white male. As what is it called? I don't know why my brain is like not working right now. In her field, it's male dominated, and especially white. To see her like being a trailblazer, I'm sure she's also receiving like flack for that, and I'm sure she's also being like put down negatively for that. So, but every time you see her, she's just like full of grace and just a beautiful light. So shout out to her. Especially for coming here.
Exactly, yeah, and like for her doing that, I think that it was a beautiful thing.
Cause she's from here.
Yeah, she's from Compton, and for her to bring that to the kids here, and mind you, Compton doesn't have a movie theater.
They said 2019, right?
Yeah, there's one that's coming, but currently we don't have one. But I thought it was a really good experience just for her to bring to the kids, for them to have that experience and for them to be the first ones to see it. I thought it was really nice of her. So for this to be like one of her biggest films for her to do and to bring it back to where you know, like to where she grew up and where she started. So
and I know those kids loved it because they, you know, get excited when we have career days like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, for them to actually have someone that they're seeing on Instagram constantly and stuff, like Instagram is something that boosts them up. So for them to see that and really experience that, I know those kids are still probably talking about it, still like on TV, you know, because of that. So shout out to her and those kids too.
Yeah, no, shout out to them. And then also, the Oscars were up on Sunday. So here were some looks. We had a couple of looks from the Oscars. This is Betty Gabriel. She was in Get Out. Remember her? She was in Get Out.
She was the grandma.
She wasn't the grandma.
The grandma in the trapped body.
The grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, the grandmother. Yeah.
I don't like.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't. Even I have smaller boobs. I wouldn't wear that just because
the dress is nice if it was a little higher.
I agree with you. Or if they had that mesh.
It looks
unfinished.
That, like, crystal mesh. Maybe.
Oh, okay. I know she has a nude mesh up on there, but I know something like it's a nude mesh. And then of course we have Lupita.
When I saw this, I automatically thought Queen because of the draping across the body. They
and the metallic,
they always wear like the drapes like kind of around them like that. I automatically was like Queen.
She's amazing.
She is amazing.
Wakanda forever. I feel like they're embodying who they are in Wakanda. Yeah. Like I feel like all of them, even the men, like they're really like
they're in their element.
Like it's really taking its life form for them. So
and then of course
I'm glad to start seeing her. Denai.
Yeah, of course we have Denai. And then
I love him.
Okay, look, I put this in here.
Hello.
Okay, so this man right here is
Jesus.
Oh my God, he is so fine. Okay, and I know that you have. I know you love you some Winston.
I love,
Winston
and
Duke.
I don't even be talking about like dudes like that. But my God, that man.
That man
in the movie, I was just like, okay, I want to be up on the mountain with you. Like I don't want to be with T'Challa. I want to be with you.
You better stop with all that barking. Okay.
Hello.
All that barking. Okay. But no, he's fine. But yeah, I put this in here just for you, girl, okay? Because that man is beautiful. Okay?
And he wasn't even really, like, his role was not supposed to be as, like, he, like, literally, people are talking about him more than they're talking about anybody else. He looks thicker on the scene, and I'm like, I actually want him as thick as he was on the screen.
For
like,
real.
I clearly like thick men.
When he was sitting up in that chair, like, with that pose, I was like, oh, my God, okay. Hold on now. Mbaku.
Taraji.
Yes.
Taraji. Okay, so I will say that Taraji looks older, but older looks good on her. Yeah. Her face looks older, but I'm like, you are like, I can't wait until Taraji's like 90 something, and we're like, damn, Taraji, like you out here killing the game.
Right? Yeah, no, she is. And then Tiffany Haddish.
So hers was an ode to her father's people.
Yes.
Which I think was really dope.
It was dope.
And she also, I want to shout out Tiffany. Because she went on stage with that white gown.
Yes, she did.
And I think it's very necessary because you guys know that I always talk about how black women in media need to be a representation of our black girls. And I think that's so necessary that, you know, us normal people, we don't have money to keep buying new outfits and stuff. Yeah. And our girls don't either. So they need to see like, okay, that's not all that it is. You know, like we do wear the same thing over and over again.
No, yeah, she's very down to earth.
Who was the other one?
That was Zendaya. That was Zendaya.
Oh, okay.
That was a really pretty color.
Yeah, that was a pretty color that she had on. Yeah, so shout out to everybody.
I didn't like that.
You didn't like it?
It looked like okay.
I like it.
I'm not.
I love the color because it's like I don't even know how to describe it. But
it's not flattering.
You don't think so?
What
Maybe
is
it's just not the
flattering?
picture. I think
Gave me like
probably
don't
in
me
movement.
informal.
I think in movement. It's probably better in movement.
No, but look, it's nothing is flattering about that.
But she's kind of really like.
Who isn't skinny?
She's really small.
All right, well, we're about to go to break. We got 30 seconds.
Yeah.
We still got 30 seconds. Oh,
She just put up the 30-second mark.
Okay, well, really quick shout out to
We'll do it when we come back.
And shout out to JB. She just got baptized.
Got baptized, and to her sister. It's her birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. You said Araya.
I said Araya. Okay, I'm sorry. Amari. Happy birthday, Amari. You showed me a picture of Araya. That's why. Okay.
All right, and we are.
Yes, we're going to commercial break. We'll be back.
The dark. It took a revival when I was scared to try, but finally I've arrived. It took some lonely roads. It took correction and being told. But look at me, I survived. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. It took me loving the unlovable, took forgiveness and letting go. Knowing me and giving my all, but I'm still thriving and I still grow. Took the fire to cleanse my soul. It got ugly sometimes and it got personal.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Queen's Table Talk here on the Hub Radio. Okay, you guys, we're going to get into our next segment. Tell me why. So, last week, Taye Diggs, he was a guest on the Red podcast, and during his interview, he was talking about how he could not bring himself to date white women anymore because of the backlash he received from dating. It's not funny. Dating black women.
It is funny. He's a joke.
Here's a joke that he said, okay, because of the backlash that he received from black women, he says that he now feels resentment towards black women for constantly getting on his case for dating black women.
He feels resentment towards, or he feels a way that we feel a way towards him.
He feels a way towards us. He feels resentment towards black women.
Well, wouldn't that be why you weren't dating us in the beginning?
Well, he feels like he feels resentment towards us because he suffered a lot of criticism from dating white women.
Okay,
being married to a white woman.
Say, if that's what you wanted to do, you should have been firm in what you wanted to do, and what we were saying should not have affected how you felt.
Right.
Now you're letting black women who you do not date now dictate who you're now dating.
Right.
So you should have got with us from the jump.
But this is my thing. Stop putting your problems upon black women, okay? If you wanted to date Becky or Heather or whatever, whoever,
or the colonizers, the female colonizers.
I mean,
that's what you want to do. Then by all means,
people are
do
gonna
that.
have an opinion about everything, but if you
Right.
love what you love, whoever
put
you
that on
love,
me.
then that should be the end of it. Why does it matter
do
what?
it.
black
Because
people
you
say?
feel bad because you ain't dating inside your race. Now you want to put it on black women. When I'm sure it was more than just us saying things. Like,
he's a different case. So,
and I like Taye Diggs.
Yeah, because like, how could you?
I like him as an actor.
Yeah, like how could you be in
I don't
like
know him
Brown
as a
Sugar
person.
and what's the other movie with the I don't know what came out recently. I don't know.
The Best Man?
The Best Man. How can you be in all those movies and not like appreciate?
None of them. Honestly, none of them black men up in that movie except for Morris Chestnut. It's married to a black woman.
Shout out to him because he went to GAR.
Shout out to him. He went to GAR. But I'm not here for him because even during the interview, the host had told him, he's like, well, you do know that black women, are the most devalued group in America. This is what he gonna say. He said, even though he said, wait, I just saw it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So pretty much he was saying that we are in control of how we view ourselves, and that just because somebody else feels some kind of way about us, like we can't let that get us down and blah blah blah.
Himself?
No, he was saying that
he
in
has
response.
to be talking to himself because he just said that he now feels what? Resentment towards us because we've been telling him not to date outside of your race. Girl. But now all of a sudden you trying to tell us
this
that
man is
it's
lost,
our
girl.
fault.
This man, this what he said. I'm sorry, I found it. He said the host has said that black women are the most devalued groups in America, which is behind the concept that black men need to uplift and celebrate black women.
Right.
And dating a white woman does not help that. And then Taye Diggs said in response, in order for us as a people to move forward is to learn how to love yourself and not make excuses. The more time you spend pointing fingers, the less time you're going to grow as a person and the less you're going to be able to move forward. What the hell is he talking about?
He talking about himself. He's saying he has not grown as a person, so in order to grow, he needs to stop dating the colonizing woman, and he needs to now move on. So now he has a white and a black. Well, she's mixed. So now he's taking steps towards coming back home.
He's taking steps. I don't know if I would take him. I don't know.
That's just really surprising.
Somebody on Twitter said he's not welcome into Wakanda.
Oh my God.
Well, there's no colonizers in Wakanda, so he wouldn't like it.
Very true. But this is my issue. Just like when it comes to interracial dating, to be honest with you, I really don't care. I mean, date whoever you're gonna date, whatever. That's upon you. It don't make me never mind. I love black men. But the only thing that bothers me is like when black men start saying why they don't date black women. Like when it becomes a whole laundry list of what's wrong with black women.
No, once you say I don't date black women, I don't care what the reason is. You got an issue with me.
You got it.
Now, if you are just dating outside of your race because that is what happened, that's fine. But don't you sit down at no table with me talking about I don't date black women because I don't even want to hear nothing else.
Because the thing is that how I just never understood how come when you have to justify dating Susan, it always got to be because you don't like us, because you don't like black women.
Why can't it just be like
because you like her?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, because they don't like themselves.
Exactly. Thank you. So my whole thing is this. I stopped getting upset with black men who say they don't like black women because of whatever superficial reason or stereotype.
I've never been in a conversation with a man that's a black
I've actually been in a lot of them. I'm about to tell you, but my whole thing is that I stopped getting upset about it because I feel like when you make a statement like that against black women, you really have an issue with yourself, and it's really more of an issue of self-hate. Because my thing is that if you saying that you don't like being with black women because their hair is a certain texture, and I have heard it before,
and that's
like
the dumbest thing.
This is the dumbest thing because our hair grows out the same. Because that's just you saying that you don't like your own hair. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to be with somebody who's a reflection of what you don't like about yourself. Yep. So therefore, I'm not gonna get upset about that. Work upon your issues, but don't project that upon me. You know, and don't project that upon all black women because you have an issue and because you got some issues that you ain't even worked out yet.
And
don't
one thing I will say is that you have black men or any race of people who will say, I don't date black people, and then they will date someone or marry someone who only dates black people. So in my mind, it's like you guys are dating each other or you guys have fallen in love for each other for the reasons that you guys do not want to be with your own kind. Right. And that to me is confusing where I just don't understand. How do they love your people more than you do? And you love their people more than that person does. And now all of a sudden you guys think, oh, we're going to connect. Why not work on the reasons why you don't love your race? Because if you don't love your race, you don't love you. Right. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the interracial dating or anything, but I do feel like if you talking about you don't date your race, and this is not just with black people, this is just with whoever. If you don't date your race because of whatever reasons, some of those reasons also stem within you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and a lot of that stuff is taught too because just like I'm telling you now, I've heard literally every excuse as to why black men don't date black women, and even like with us growing up in Cerritos and going to guard, like not all of them, but a lot of the black guys who I did interact with, like they said they only dated like Asian girls, they didn't like black girls, they only wanted to date Latina girls and blah blah blah. And even like this one guy that I was dating, he said that his own mother told him that not to date a black woman.
That doesn't even make sense.
It don't make sense. I don't understand like how you as another black woman can say that.
I know people that have dated outside of their race, whatever. My thing is, if you're gonna date outside your race, have a true connection with that person. Let it actually be some kind of love, not just, oh, I'm going against because I don't want this or I don't want that. Stop trying to nitpick at what it is, and if you actually meet somebody and you say, hey, you know what, I think I want to take a chance on you, then let that naturally flow. Like when you start doing that whole pushing against like rebellion type of thing just to be out of the norm, I think that just kind of shows your own heart and how hardened and blackened your own heart is. Because I mean, it's really, what are you in a relationship for? What is the ultimate purpose of being in a relationship? So
you say you don't know?
I don't know.
I mean, when you do that, when you're just, oh, I'm not gonna date black men because my dad told me not to date black men. Yeah. Like, so
I mean,
what are you getting out of that?
I don't know. But the thing is that you have not dated all black men and you have not dated all black women. So therefore you can't group us all together, okay? Until you've dated every single black woman.
But they feel like, and it's definitely when guys say, I had a white or a black woman before and it didn't work out. It's just like that's a knock to me and it's disrespectful to me because it's like, baby, like I'm not the same as your girl or your ex or whatever, and whatever y'all had going on, like I'm
you that attracted
right.
That kind
and
of
y'all
energy.
Gotta start. Y'all know self-work is key. Ding ding ding. You gotta understand what it is that you have inside of you that's attracting negativity. Like these black men, you don't like yourself. Like, and I'm not gonna say all of y'all, but the ones that just don't like black women, you clearly have something
a laundry
in
list
yourself
of why you don't like us
that you don't like about yourself. So you're attracting someone who probably doesn't like or have self-love for themselves either. So they're not gonna treat you well if they don't treat themselves well. Like, what are y'all out here doing? Like, it's simple math to me. Like, if you change, take away some things, you'll get what you want. If you want 2 and you have 5, take away 3, you'll get your 2.
Right.
Like, take away that negativity that you have within inside of you, and you'll start attracting more positive people.
Right. You know, because like just all of us are not. I don't know. It's like some kind of stigma that we're all hard to talk to.
Or that
and we have attitude.
But call it what it
no,
is.
We
Though.
don't.
You want somebody that's more submissive. But the thing is, when somebody
I
really,
demand respect.
when somebody really
You
loves
can't
you, they
talk to
are
me.
going to be a submissive wife. And
Right.
I don't mean that in any type of, you know, shade way that you're not strong by being submissive. But I mean, you know, with the man being the head of the household, when you really love somebody, you gonna be submissive.
But there's
to
also
your
strength
husband.
But you
in
ain't gonna
knowing your
submit to everybody.
There's
That's
strength
what you ain't
in
gonna submit to
knowing
no
your
foolishness.
role. Right.
Right.
There's strength in knowing your role that you're able to, like we say all the time, you can light another candle and your candle can still be just as lit. And that's the same thing with being submissive. You can be that, but then what they don't understand is that you have to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a whole man, not half of a man that's sitting up here trying to be with two
Who
or
got
3
issues.
girlfriends and you
Yeah.
want somebody to submit to you. No, that's not gonna work.
No, yeah, for real. No, you can't. But while we up on the topic though. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at Dre.
Well, it's don't even look.
Why are you
over
looking
there.
at Dre?
Don't even look over
What is
there.
it?
I don't
Dre's
even know why
lit.
you got that look up on your face.
Because he's lit. He don't know what to do with himself.
Oh my god. But no, yeah, y'all. I done heard every excuse in the book as to why. Like I said,
have them come on the show.
Girl, no, I don't even think they can sit with the queen.
No, they gonna sit with me.
I don't know if they're gonna make it out.
We are going to
But
talk.
but no, like this one guy, he said that his uncle said that he doesn't want to have kids with a black woman because he don't want his kids' hair to be nappy. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, how you don't want your
Maybe your hair is nappy.
First, I'm about to say, like, dude, your hair grows out the same way mine does. Like,
selfie.
grow out your fade,
But my
okay?
thing is,
And we gonna
why?
see.
This is a whole nother discussion, but why is the term nappy hair? Just because your hair is curlier and your hair is more kinky, why is that such a bad?
I don't even know what
connotation
nappy
to
hair
that?
look like.
And that's the thing, like, it's really real out here because little girls think like my hair is not pretty. We've seen pictures, we show people, you know, little girls and their teachers having the same hairstyle because these little girls are not feeling pretty enough because people are saying your hair is not the same as hers. Hers is beautiful. She's the one that's getting the most.
Just like
likes
Neo's
on
wife. So I'm
Instagram.
gonna get into it though. But did y'all see where Neo's wife had said her son was not blessed with her Hawaiian silky hair? Did y'all see that?
No.
Yeah, I did. I think you told me about
Why
it.
can't you find the beauty in
Oh, no,
their-
I was
in
talking
their
about it
own
to
hair,
Alicia.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, why couldn't she say like his hair is just as beautiful? It's different from mine, but it's just as beautiful.
She
And then she said, she said, I need help. Can y'all please help me because my son wasn't blessed with Hawaiian silky hair. He got, nappy, whatever. And then she goes, I guess people were combating her. And she was like, well, I'm actually going to start my own line.
That irritated me because I'm like, first of all,
You was asking us for our opinion
didn't know
on
how to
your
do your
son's
son's
hair.
hair
How
yesterday.
you going to start a line trying to help us now?
Right.
You
sound dumb. You sound dumb.
So she's Hawaiian?
I don't know
apparently,
what she is.
everybody was mad because they didn't know she was mixed. I'm like, everybody's just mad because you ignorant. And I was like, that's why people are mad.
Like, don't
But-
nobody even be checking for no mixed people like that. I mean, not like that, but ain't nobody be like mixed. Black is in. How about that? Pro-black is in. Being black, black girl magic. It's not no mixed Indian hair. No, you see all of us wearing our natural hair. I've never mentioned this, but remember when we went to the shut-in? I don't know if you realize how many girls were in there with natural hair. There were some guys sitting behind us, and he was like, the guy tapped the guy that was next to him, and he was just like, yo, like, bro, like, look how many girls in here got their natural hair. Like, that's the new thing or whatever. And I'm like, they didn't know that I could hear them, but, like, that was their legitimate conversation. Like, dang, like, these girls really, these ladies, because it was a lot of us in here that had, I think my hair was natural, too. They were just like, oh, my God, like, they really out here, like, this is the new thing. Like, if you make it a thing, they gonna follow suit. And we've been making it a thing. Like, we've been wearing our natural hair, been trying to, embrace our natural. And I think that moment, I meant to say it when we went to go speak, but it slipped my mind. But, yeah, it was cool hearing that. Yeah. And just going, like, we make it a thing. If we want to be out here wearing weaves and all 10 of us was in there wearing weaves, they'd have been like, hey, yo, like, they out here, Brazilian all the way down their butt. Like, but we were in there with our natural hair and our natural beauty. So I think that was something that stood out. Yeah, like, we make whatever is popping pop. Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's your own hair. They're going to respect it. And, I mean, if they don't like it, you should be within yourself saying, I'm beautiful just the way I am. Because
Right.
what can you do? Like, straighten it? Is that going to make you happier?
Yeah. But, anywho, y'all answer me this question, okay? Because, Jasmine, you asked it last week on Instagram and started a whole frenzy.
A whole frenzy. It was like almost 100 comments.
Can you be pro-black and date outside your race?
Can
yes
you?
or no?
No.
What you think?
Go ahead. Don't send this in.
I'm like very like on the fence about this one. I don't know.
Give
like,
me your honest opinion.
I feel like just because you want to date somebody who's not in your race doesn't make you any less black
That's
or
the issue.
proud
That's
for
the
your
issue.
culture.
Being proud,
That's
though, you
the
can be
thing.
as proud as you want to be. You can be as proud as you want to be and still not put a lick of work in.
I feel like you can work towards striving for the economy and your community and all that and still connect with somebody because you actually have a genuine connection with somebody who's not in your race. I feel like that is possible.
You gotta understand, being pro-black is not just being proud and supporting. Being pro-black is helping heal our wounds. It's being not advancing, not just that. It's in the trench work. It's dedicating parts of your life to the betterment of black people. We have to understand that there are people that operate. There's our skin folk that we're not, we don't really, y'all think something different. There are
The Ben
kin folk.
Carsons and the Stacey
Yes,
Dashes.
and the Stacey Dashes. All of those. Then we have people who love being black, and they are black. Then we have people who, are maybe proud to be black. And then we have pro-black. If your life is not dedicated to the betterment of black people, if there are aspects of your life that are not dedicated, you are not pro-black. You are just a black person that might love to be black, that might spend money and recycle the black dollar. That's fine, but are you in the trenches working? No. If you're not in the trenches working, getting dirty and dedicating aspects of your life to black people, you are not pro-black. And we as black people need to understand, just because we are not pro-black, it does not mean that you hate yourself or you hate black people.
I think I more so think of the love aspect. I'm a firm believer in, sometimes you can't help who you love. So in that sense, I say, yes, you can be.
But then that's a different conversation.
But my thing is, I think that's just a difference of opinion because I am a firm believer in like actual, true, genuine love.
But but we gotta understand the conversation stems around being pro-black. We're not talking about love.
But you're saying dating.
But dating
for dating.
Right, but the basis of it's not. We're not saying can you still love black people and date outside of your race. No. If you are dating outside of your race and you have a mixed child, you are now wiping out our race and now becoming a part of the problem. If you're trying to progress our race, in no way, shape, or form does your mixed child progress our race.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
Because if you have a connection with somebody and you're like, dang, like I didn't think I would have a connection with somebody, let's say who's white, Hispanic, whatever, Asian. And I just really vibe with her, like, wow. Not saying that you can't vibe with somebody who's black, but you're like, wow, this person I really vibe with, I like them a lot, they like me, and y'all just kind of like, bro, there's chemistry.
But it's not just a black person, you gotta understand being pro-black.
My answer would be, I would say yes then, because I'm looking at it more so from.
Because you're not looking at it from the pro-black perspective.
I am, I do understand, but I'm.
Okay, I get what you're saying, I get what you're saying too. So, just like, for example, okay, so somebody like Angela Rye, right? So, if Angela Rye just came out and said, I'm dating, this white man.
I would lose respect for her.
You would lose all respect for her?
All, but
and all the work that she's done?
I would lose some respect for her, yes.
Okay.
I would. Because how are you preaching for black people and black kids to progress, but you're not opting into our race? But you're pro-black, and you have to think about it. When you're pro something, everything that you do is surrounded around them. You're not a basketball player. If you're a pro basketball player, you're not going to become Kobe by practicing football and practicing baseball. You only become Kobe by sitting in the gym for 8 to 10 hours a day by practicing basketball. That is the difference between a pro and someone who just loves the game. Kobe was a pro at what he did, so everything that he did was surrounded around basketball. Everything. So you can't be a pro, a Michael Jordan, and think, I'm going to go out there and swing this bat, and I'm going to go out there and drop or be a Kobe and drop 81 points in the game, but you out here practicing football. That's the difference. And I want everybody to understand when I say you're not pro-black, I'm not saying that you don't love us. I'm saying you can love us as much as you want. You can love us to the moon and back. I don't care. But y'all are not putting in the work. And to me, it's not disrespectful, but it's a knock to me for someone who has dedicated. My paycheck is dedicated to the betterment of black people. My business that I have started, my gift to the world is dedicated to the betterment of black people. And I'm just starting. I'm at my very infant stages of being pro-black. So it's like for someone to come and think, oh, they're pro-black, and they're not even putting in the basic actions, that's a knock to me. Then what am I doing?
I understand what you're saying completely.
No, yeah, okay. So I agree with Jasmine too. To be honest with you, I feel like if you're gonna be pro-black and you're gonna be out here like really putting on for the culture and you're trying to push us forward and whatnot, I think that you should have somebody that reflects what you are trying to convey to other people. So I had used this example before the show. So like my pastor, right? If my pastor is a Christian, right, and his wife is an atheist, I'm gonna be like, what you teaching your congregation? You know, like you over here living a double life. I mean, like maybe like not to that extent, but at the same time,
like you said,
it's just like
you said an atheist or what?
An atheist,
okay,
yeah. But okay, so like people who come to mind is somebody like Yara Shahidi. Mm-hmm. She is both.
She's mixed.
Yeah.
But that ain't on her.
But that's what I'm saying. Her mom is pro-black, very pro-black. Her grandparents were very pro-black, and she married a Muslim man. Like I don't think that takes
Muslim?
away.
Okay, so what?
He's Iranian. My bad. Iranian. Iranian. So I don't feel like that takes. Sorry. I don't feel like that takes away from her advancement of the community, her being pro-black, her, dedication and all that. I don't think that takes away from it. If she fell in love with this Iranian man, she, fell in love, then she had Yara Shahidi who looks at both sides. But why can't like Yara Shahidi go so hard for both teams?
Nobody's
for both
talking about
sides.
mixed children. We're talking
Hold
about
on. We got a comment, y'all. We got a comment.
Who's the commenter?
Tierra Marie.
Is that Dre?
Hey, Tierra.
That's
the one that does the dread?
No, that's my friend.
Oh, what's up, Tierra?
That's
Tierra.
My best friend. Shout out. Yeah, go ahead, read it.
But being pro-black does not mean only loving your people. Being in the trenches doesn't have anything to do with who you fall in love with. It's not a different conversation because if you're dating outside your race, goes back to what you were just talking about, just trying to go against the grain and only date who you think you need to date just to stay in your own culture.
Wait, okay. If you're in the trenches for black people, then that means that you're in the trenches. Like you fight for America and you get dirty for America. You risking your life for America. You are not risking your life for the other countries. You're not. You're risking your life for America. So I don't understand how you could be or think that you are pro-black, but then we talk about in our pro-black activism, you're talking about, oh, we want to prolong the race. You have to understand, when just looking at genealogy, when you have a mixed child, you are wiping out 50% of that race, of that being black. So you're not progressing it. You're basically taking away from it. And if you're in the trenches, like I said, if you're a pro athlete, you're not going to practice one sport and think you're going to get 81 points a game like Kobe did. That's the difference between being a pro and just being a lover of the game.
I feel like
I think it's just a difference of like how you view, like your perception of it, because I mean,
but there should not be any different perception to being pro-black.
There's different viewpoints on that, because I mean, when you talk about interracial relationships and dating, there's some people that are like, nah, and then there's some people that are like,
understand that the underlying word, the common denominator in this conversation is not just interracial dating, it's being pro-black. And like I said, like somebody commented on my page, well, it would be different if Umar Johnson was dating a white lady, and I go, why? Oh, because he's pro-black. Exactly. So how are you?
And if he was dating a white woman, I feel like I I would be like, okay.
What are you doing?
What do you do? Yeah,
but it's like, how can you? But that's pro-black, and that's what we have to understand is that a lot of us that are sitting here on Instagram and that are talking right now, we are not pro-black. Our life is not dedicated to black people. We're not doing enough. We're not even recycling black dollars. A lot of us are not. So we can't even sit up here and say, oh, we're pro-black. Oh, this. No, we love black people. Maybe we're inching towards being pro-black, but a lot of us are not pro-black. A lot of us are not doing anything to better our community. Like, for real, we aren't. So it's like we can't even really argue that. But that's my pet peeve with it, is that people keep thinking being pro-black is just a knock on the door. No, being pro-black is knocking the door down and going in and actually fixing the house. It's not just sitting on knocking on, oh, can you let me in? No, you push your way through. Like, I think it's just so irritating that people think that being pro-black is just a word of love or a word of support. It's so much more than that. It's so much more. Like, it just is. I don't know, it's just irritating to me that people just can't, like, grasp the concept of being pro-black is something that takes a lot of work. It's a movement. Like Black Panther is an entire movement. You know, it's not something that just, oh, we were watching it in the backyard. No, that thing did a whole lot of stuff for a lot of people. So it's like, we got to get our ideas together. Like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that kind of, I know this probably has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it kind of like goes back, when you talk about being pro-black, it kind of goes back to people like using the word woke, and I'm like, I started like to kind of get annoyed with that.
There was a video.
Yeah.
That you sent us, right?
Yeah. Like, well, actually that word like was started by Erykah Badu. So I didn't know that. This was like years ago. And but people like, they start using it like as a fad now. We're like, oh yeah, y'all stay woke. But I'm like, no, like to be woke is like really to be like out here. Like you are aware of social, political injustice and whatnot, you know? So it's not just something that we say just to be cool or to be funny, but like it's really exasperating being
like
woke if you want to say
now,
it.
I mean, even after you become woke,
you gotta work woke.
You gotta work woke. It's all of that, but I mean, a lot of us commenting and having all these views and stuff ain't even pro-black to be sitting up here having a view on here because we're not putting it in work.
We got a lot of response from Twitter. Like, Twitter was going up on us earlier today, and they were saying, a lot of women were saying yes, which was actually very surprising, that yes, you can be pro-black and still date outside your race, which I would expect like more of, like, honestly, I was expecting more black men to say no. Yeah, but like more black men were saying,
telling me, yeah, I only got one person that said.
A lot of women were saying yeah, but like men were saying no, and I was like, okay, like this is a shift.
You want me to read?
Yeah.
Somebody, I think this is a guy. He said this is a real question. I think you can, but you're missing the main element in being pro-black, building the black family. Many mixed black folks grow to be great voices for us. Kaepernick, J. Cole, Jesse Williams, etc. It would be hard to just say no.
I think we're talking about, like, that's an issue, like mixed kids. We're talking about like the result of interracial dating and interracial relations.
So we don't, like I was saying earlier.
But if we're talking about like just the act of y'all being together, like, then I think that's something that's completely different. But somebody else had made a comment too, saying that you gotta. They said you gotta. Yeah, you can date. You can be pro-black and date outside your race as long as you check them if they get out of line. Why would you have to check somebody if you got out of line? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, she said. I mean, yeah. Interracial dating.
IMO.
Interracial
in my
dating,
opinion. In my opinion, yeah.
Does it make someone any less black or less involved in black issues as long as you keep that non-black partner in check regarding those issues?
That's dumb.
Y'all confused.
If you gotta check somebody for saying some out of pocket stuff, or you being black, you shouldn't be with them at all.
Right.
Okay, like that is no. I'm not about to sit over here and be with you if I gotta worry whether we gonna say the N-word or not. Yeah. Like, what the heck? Like.
And you showed us. I mean, you sent me a letter of I guess it was a mixed.
The girl,
a black
yeah.
and white girl who I guess we can talk about when we come back because we got a few seconds left. But stay tuned. We will be back in a little bit. But yeah, we're talking about interracial dating and being pro-black.
The Hub.
Coco's Lip Smacking Cupcakes offers custom cakes and cupcakes for every occasion. We proudly bake everything from scratch. With every moist and mouth-watering bite, you will be smacking your lips by the time you are finished. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lip Smacking Cupcakes.
What up, y'all? It's C Blue here. I'm about to do this challenge for y'all. Y'all check me out. Come on.
Let me tell you a little something about my city. Sippy T, Dr. Dre, easy done it in my city. Ruthless, DJ Quick, but you fucky in my city tonight. King Luther got it thumping in my city. I'm about to drop that blue magic in my city. They cupping up a mic, cracking in my city. JV, Hub City Radio, the first to play me, yo. We on the up and up, we doing back committee. On the way, I'm truly just a newbie in my city. Youngin, you can't say you never knew me in my city. It's my duty just to do it for my city. Yeah, I'm representing all the beauty in my city. Inspired by the black man of my city. Asian pride, cause what I do is really rare for my city. Best believe I'm about the fresh air for my city. And now I'll make them all aware of my city. Compton, 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 Compton.
Everybody gonna try. Girl, all the bitches, niggas, they want you. Girl, all the rich niggas, all the rich niggas, they want you. Want her. All the rich niggas, everybody gonna try. Girl, all the rich Girl, all the rich niggas, they want you. Girl, all the
Miss me with that bullshit. You ain't really wild, you a tourist. I be blacking out with the purist. I paid 100,000, I freaked it. I paid 500,000, I freaked it. I bought an 87 for the weekend. This ain't what you want, this ain't what you want. This ain't what you want, this ain't what you want.
And it's like that look. MVP, I don't get no sleep, no, I don't like that look. Bust that open, I want that ocean, yeah, that bite back look. Do it, bite back look. Need 2 life jackets look. I ain't gon' hold you, I ain't gon' pressure, never control you. I ain't gon' front you, keep it 100, I don't know you. Boss like Top Dog, boss my life up, crossing over. Started stepping, got a Hall of Fame and all my poster. I've been ready, my whip been ready, my been ready, my click been ready, my checks been ready, my shots on full, that's Armageddon. I got pull, I hope y'all ready, my tank on full, you know unleaded. I gotta go get it, I gotta go get it, I gotta go get it, I gotta go.
I'm here because
you are tuned into Queen's Table Talk here on the Hub Radio. If you have been tuned in with us, we have been talking about interracial dating. We started talking about Tay Diggs, and then we started talking about can you be pro-black and date outside of your race. We had a couple of comments. Let me see here. Somebody said, wait, Suave Cow said being pro-black is more focused on self-identity. How you see yourself / present yourself is going to dictate your self-awareness of your melanin. Love is love. Who you fall in love with should not qualify how you identify yourself.
Self-identity is self-identity. You can't redefine something with another word.
Yeah, I kind of believe that who you're with is a reflection of you. I do believe that, you know. So like for me, I'm a black woman. I would prefer to be with a black man.
How is being pro-black a self-identity issue?
I mean, I kind of agree with him a little bit on the you love who you love. That shouldn't be a reflection.
So what did I say earlier? Y'all fall in love with crackheads?
Oh my gosh.
Are y'all? Are y'all falling in love with crackheads? Like we talk about you love who you love. Okay, so then that means that some of us prominent women can easily fall in love with a crackhead. If you can choose not to love a crackhead just in the same way you can choose not to love someone who is not black. Love is not love, but love ain't love when you walking down Long Beach Boulevard and you see them prostitutes. Men ain't falling in love with those women. Why? Because we can put guidelines for certain things, but then when it comes about race, because it's offensive and black people hate being offensive, we want to say, oh, love is love. No, because y'all ain't falling in love with crackheads and prostitutes.
Okay.
They not. Have you ever been attracted to a crackhead? Have y'all ever been attracted to a crackhead?
I don't need to say I know one. I'm sorry.
But you come across them.
I have, but
so was like, damn, that crackhead right there.
But it's just attraction. Like love is.
But I'm saying that if we can put up a guideline, if a man can walk down Long Beach Boulevard and see prostitutes and go, and not fall in love with any of them, and I'm sure some of them look good.
Because that is lust.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Go to a prostitute.
No, I'm saying if I'm okay. Look, I live down here. Let's say if I live down here and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm walking up to the Hub Radio. I'm gonna walk back and I'm a man.
If you look,
hold on.
If you have a connection with, if you talk and you interact with a crackhead, and you say, dang,
I
really want to get to know him better.
We can only go with the people. We can only go with the people that are sitting right here. I'm saying, have we ever fallen in love with a crackhead?
I can't say no because I never interacted. I've never said, oh, you know what? Let's take this a little bit further.
No, I'm just saying. But did you allow yourself to, when you walked in the presence when we were down? Did you go downtown or when we were downtown, Monique? Mm-hmm. Did you go? Were you in that space like I could find love down here?
What? Falling in love doesn't
no, but were you open minded when we went downtown and we were feeding people? Hold on, Aaliyah. When we went to go feed the homeless, when we went to go feed the homeless, did you go? Hold on, I can find love down here in the same way where I will not walk into a white space and go, I can find love in this colonial space.
She said this colonial.
But it's the same thing where we didn't go downtown. We were like, I was cooking that food and like, dang, you know what? I'm going to cook this food real good because I might find me a husband.
Somebody going to like this beef stew. But
that didn't happen. And in the same way, no, it is the same because they're people. They're people. If they're people, they're not people?
No, that's not what I'm
saying. They are people.
I'm not saying they're not people. I'm just saying I don't know how that relates to.
They're people just like the colonizers are people.
Okay. But let's just talk about it in real terms.
That is real terms. Homeless people are real people. They need love too. Oh my gosh. Do they not? Now that's a problem. I'm gonna have a problem with you if y'all think homeless people ain't people.
Wait.
I care about homeless people.
Nobody said that. I'm just saying that. Can we talk about it in terms of race as far as the example?
But it's people. They're people.
Yeah, but if we're talking about it in terms of race and saying like, you know, can you be pro-black? Like I said before, me personally, if you are gonna be out here, you know, trying to push the culture and whatnot, I think that you should, you know, have somebody that kind of reflects the struggle, you know. And even if you look at a lot of these leaders, you know, like Martin Luther King, like his movement would not have been as you know
effective as it was without his black woman.
Yeah, with a black woman in his corner. You know,
would you think Martin Luther King would be as great as he is if he had a white woman?
And to be honest with you, black women were behind the civil rights movement.
No, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Do you think
you can't put me in that place because I can't say yes.
No, I'm saying, do you think he would have been as effective if Malcolm X? Do you think he would have been as effective if he was married to a white woman?
Honestly, don't know.
I
don't know because I don't have the same viewpoint as you do. That's
I'm asking from your viewpoint.
I don't know because my thing is if he decided he fell in love with a white woman, Asian woman, whoever, and he was like, "This is who I love," you know, and that's
you know how
I can't say.
Hold on, wait. He said
who
somebody. Hold on,
like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King that came back from the dead and talked to the queens.
What?
to talk to the queens. No. Somebody said, oh wait, it's still Suave Cal. He said, yes, but it's a slippery slope that you can do it. It's a slippery slope. Not too sure.
You gonna turn on like Tay Diggs talking about, I'm hurt.
Now you got resentment towards black women.
Right. Because they had a resentment towards you or something.
Oh my God.
But what is his opinion? He says it can.
His opinion is that you can. He said yes.
But he said it turns into a slippery slope.
He said it's a slippery slope.
But we all know slippery slopes ain't nothing that you want to opt into. So why are y'all sitting up here? Oh, it might be, you might not be able to be as effective. So why would you opt into something where you won't be effective?
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you go to a church with a pastor and that's married to an atheist?
No.
Can't be pro-black and not date a black person.
Oh my gosh.
There you have it. There you have it.
No, I don't think that's
there you have it. There you have it.
Because you laughing right now. Shout out to my homegirl Shannon. She over here up in the studio with us. What you think, Shannon? Can you be pro-black and date outside your race?
Pro-black?
Yes.
I feel like it's like we talked about last week. It's levels to pro-black.
It's not. It's levels to being black.
Yeah, but like you said, how do you do the walk? And the one person, your soulmate, your lover, your spiritual connection, just that person is just, I don't know.
Is white, but you pro-black. So they what?
That's what I said. It's up to your own perception and what you feel about love, honestly.
My brother
and
is married
because
to a Mexican woman, and I don't doubt that she'll raise those boys like as a black man and a Mexican man, like so.
I feel like that dilutes.
It does dilute it, but I feel like she's riding. I do trust that she's riding with him, but I do feel like.
Well, yeah, she could definitely be a great woman. She could be a better woman than some black woman. I don't argue that.
I feel like she would stand at the forefront, like if he were to be like face up with cops or something. I feel like.
Okay, but then let's highlight what you sent me.
Yeah, well,
the article.
But this is what I was gonna say too. So, like when you're with somebody, especially when we talk about like interracial dating, I feel like you have to be careful about that because even when the person said you got to check that person, it's like when you're with somebody like who's not of the same race as you, it's a different level of understanding that you have for that person and their psyche and what they're going through. It's a different level of understanding culturally. You know what I'm saying?
And with that being said,
so
too, I want to add something because just even with my brother,
wait, come
like,
to the mic.
His whole but even his whole life, like I've always known that he didn't like black women. Like my whole life, and that's my older brother. I look up to him. That's my hero. But my whole life, I just already knew that, and that definitely affected me because I've always wondered why.
And that's what I was gonna say. Does it? Because I know I have my best friend, or I'm gonna be petty. She had two brothers, and I remember us driving. We were young. We were probably in like elementary, not in middle school. We were probably like late elementary. And I remember us driving down the street and seeing some black woman, and my mom was in the car. And they go, yeah, you see her? Like, that's why I won't date black women. And it's always stuck with me. And they weren't my blood, but, you know, we all grew up together. And it's always stuck with me. And it was like, to me, it was I was in the car, his sister, his two sisters, and my mom was in the car. So it's like our image is not enough to tell you that is not all that we are. And that conversation, I remember being in my mom's truck, sitting in the back, and one was sitting in the front, one was sitting next to me. And that, what he said has stuck with me. And I'm grown now. And I was in elementary. And he said, I will never date black women. And I think you have a mother at home who has raised 6 kids. You have, you have prominent black women in your life that have raised children, that have been there for you. But this woman right here, that's walking down the street that you will never see again. Yeah. That's the reason why you won't date us. Yeah. And you got to realize how hurtful that is.
It is hurtful, and it really does something to you. Like I said before, a long time ago we had sat in on that conversation about love relationships. We talked about interracial dating, And I said, you know, when I was in middle school, when I was in 7th grade, I'm like 12, 13. And like this guy that I like, he said, I don't date black girls. I'm like, how are you 12 years old, like not knowing that you don't date black girls?
I would sock somebody.
Yeah, like 12 or 13, like, and not saying that you don't like black girls. And it's like, what is it like? What have you been taught, or like what have you seen that made you feel like you don't like black girls? You know. And even going back to what I said, like with my ex, and he said that his mom told him don't date black women. So I'm like, why? Like, what is it? Like,
and it's hurtful just to hear that.
It is hurtful
to hear that somebody would utter that. And his mom was black, right?
Yeah, his mom is black.
Yeah, like that. I mean, it's just hurtful, and that's why I think I'm so just pro us and us dating within our race, because it's like when those conversations do come up, even with my brothers, I was telling my brother yesterday, I'm just like, would y'all date black women? And my dad's like, don't be trying to, you know, conform their mind. I'm just like, no. And I'm like, because I want to be a positive image of them. If they do see negativity in black women, I want to make sure that they understand that that's not all that it is.
Right.
And somebody, I think Boris was asking me, what if my son came? Or what would you do with your son? And I can say is, I wish to be a positive image of a black woman to the point where he only wants to date someone that's like me.
My question to you is, what if he totally respects you, has total respect for all black women, for you, for his grandmother, for everybody,
if he has total respect,
and he still falls in love with somebody who's Asian, somebody who's Mexican. So, like, my thing is can you say, you know what, son, I want you to be happy. And I want you to love who you are.
Why when I ask you these questions, you don't put me in that. I can't, but then you gonna ask me. But no, I ask you the same kind of question.
I'm like, love. If my son says, "Hey, mom, I love this girl. I want to marry her."
Okay, but you're different. This is what I'm saying. Is I'm raising him as a pro-black woon. But hold on. No, I'm raising him as a pro-black woman. I'm a pro-black woman, not him.
That's why my opinion is different from yours. Okay, and that's why I can say we can be different opinions.
So this is what I'm saying. If I'm raising him as that, and another person asks, oh well, what if he, you know, finds someone that's like you, but she's not black? And my thing is, my first level of identification is being black.
I would say that's my identity.
My first, before I'm a woman, before I'm a woman. No, hold on. Before I'm a woman, I'm black. So if I'm raising him, he will see my blackness before he sees anything else.
This is what I'm saying is, when you date somebody, you're not dating to just arrange marriage with them. You're not dating them just to be like, hey, let's get married. You're dating for love. I would hope.
So why can't we date black people?
You can, which I'm saying you can, but you also can date.
I just don't like when black people push so hard for that to be accepted.
I'm pushing for love. Like, you love.
I'm pushing for black people to be loved, because so many other.
I'm all for black relationships.
Okay, so look. Let me say this.
At the same time, you love who you love. That's what I'm saying.
Everyone else is pushing against black people. So then when we come together as black people, we're also pushing against black love. When we sit up here and try to accept marrying outside of your race, everybody else is pushing for us not to succeed, for us not to push our culture forward. So when we come together as black people, we're also sitting there like, oh, you know what? Love is love. You can love whoever. Why are we pushing the same narrative that everybody else is pushing? Like, that's what I don't understand as black people. We're so passive aggressive. Like, we're so let everybody else step on our toes, but we can't step on anybody else's toes. We got to make sure we look all good. And black women, we're all covered up, but white women come in and teaching and stuff with short dresses on. But I couldn't dare do that. We're so passive aggressive. Like, I hate that. I really do. We're pushing for black love to not be a thing, and everybody else is pushing for black love to not be a thing. We saw Get Out. Like, come on, that's a real thing. Even though people aren't really switching brains out, but that's a real thing. Yeah. And it's like we're just pushing. I don't like that. I really don't. Like, we gotta, as black people, we gotta do better. We gotta have more pride about ourselves and stop letting everybody else join the camp, but we can't join. They
inviting everybody to the cookout.
Yeah,
everybody else.
They can come to all your family. You can come to all of our family gatherings, but we can't step foot in theirs.
Exactly. Like, stop inviting everybody to the damn cookout. Pretty soon they gonna bring them.
But we can't come get casserole. We cannot come get casserole, but they can come get the barbecue. I'm tired of black people being passive aggressive and letting everybody else come sit with us, but then we can't go sit with nobody else. We sit up here fighting for movements, but they don't want to sit with us and fight with our movements. Come on. Hell no. Like, what the hell? I'm tired of that. Black people do better.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back.
Oh, my gosh.
These commercials. Stay tuned.
Don't let me get too comfortable. Don't let me get too comfortable. I know, my friend, you are a blessing, but I'm not guessing you'll wreck my whole life. I already know your type, I'm guessing you want my blessing, but baby, I'm not that guy. Either way, I'm not gonna do the things I used to do. I'm not trying to get too comfortable. I just want a friend until the end. We ain't even gotta do that other shit. We can ride a bike or play air hockey on the side. Maybe get a drink, but girl, I don't wanna be between those thighs. I know that you're beautiful, you know that you're beautiful. So maybe, baby, we shouldn't get too comfortable. Think about it, I know you want it, yeah girl, I want you too. But right now, baby, I just cannot do that to you. Blessing, but I'm not guessing whole life. I already know your type, I'm guessing you want my blessing, but baby, I'm not that guy. Blessing, but I'm not guessing you'll like my whole life. I already know your type, I'm guessing you want my blessing, but baby, I'm not that guy. I know that you're beautiful, you know that you're beautiful. I know that you're beautiful, you know that you're beautiful. But I promise I'm not your blessing.
I'm nervous.
What's up? Yeah, Mo always gets nervous when something
so we're
new.
Gonna try something, guys.
We got our first caller.
Caller.
Somebody wanted to call in and talk to us.
Okay.
No, not on speaker. It's good now.
Wait, say something. Hello. Yes.
What's up? What's up?
We got a caller.
Welcome to QTT.
What's up, QTT?
Please state your
name.
name.
Hey, Queen. State your name.
State your name. Talk louder. Oh wait, my volume's up.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Sierra, guys, I commented a little earlier on the whole topic. I wholeheartedly agree with the fact that black men shouldn't say that they don't like dating black women. Yes, that is like an internal issue, you know, a self-hate issue. But at the same time, like, I understand where Jasmine is coming from, where she's talking about everybody is pushing against black love. And I'm all for black love. You know, I love black men. Black love is a beautiful thing. You know, go for it. But at the same time, you can't force somebody to love somebody just because of the color of their skin. And I think that's where the issue comes from. Because I feel like, honestly, that can create broken families. And people are ignoring that just in the desire of having pro-black families and being pro-black. It's like, that's like me going to get pregnant by a black man, marrying a black man who I don't truly love, just because I want to continue that whole, you know, like the whole pro-black situation. And that's not even okay. That's not okay. If I happen to fall in love with a man who is not of color, you know, that doesn't mean I can't teach my children to love my people. So I don't agree with, you know, falling in love with somebody who is not of color, not being pro-black, because you can be pro-black, fall in love with somebody who's not of color, and still push for your black families to, you know, you support them. You can still build the black community. You can still be in support of the circulation of black dollars. But it just so happened that I fell in love with somebody who was not the same skin tone as me, who did not have the same complexion that I did. I just feel like it's all in, and where it sounds like Jasmine is coming from is the children. that's where I feel like that's where your main argument is. It's kind of like the result of Black love. You want to continue to build the Black family, but at the same time, like I said before, that can create broken families, and then that's a whole issue in itself, and that's pushing against the advancement of Black people.
Well, I'll say
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll say, can you hear us?
Yeah.
I'll say I hope that no matter who you marry, I hope that you do not marry someone that is negative. That has nothing to do with anybody marrying a Black person or not. Now, we have to understand, you said you feel like you're being forced, or not you, but anybody is being forced into a pro-Black situation. You have to understand what most people are exposed to is their own race. So having the option to marry within your race is not being forced to. If anything, the forcefulness is allowing yourself to now be accepting of another race. And then what you brought up about the children, if you are Black and you marry someone that is of a different race and you have mixed children and you're only pushing a Black narrative, you are doing your child a disservice. We talk about on the show, there's always a lane for interracial people. As someone who was raised around interracial kids, for Filipino and Black kids, if my uncle, who's a Black man, only pushed for Blackness and being pro-Black, his children would lose a sense of identity of who they were, which is who their mother gave them. So my thing is, if you are pushing for, or if you have biracial children, there is a lane, which I often say, even when we talked about Meghan, whatever her name is, Meghan Markle, there is a lane, there is a lane in which she needs to operate in which she is. And even with my cousins, there's a lane in which they need to operate in. Now, if they only push being Black, they are now basically disrespecting their mother and their mother's culture. So I feel you can't be a good parent and only push, if you have biracial children, and only push for them to understand one race. You have to raise them as biracial children that are accepting both races, whether it's Black and white, Asian and Mexican, whatever. As a good parent in preaching and pushing self-love, they need to be able to accept both sides. So I'm not saying that just for the children. I'm saying if we're being pro-Black and we're talking about pushing the race forward, there's no way that you can push or promote or raise a healthy state of living for that child and only teach them about their Blackness and only provide a household of being pro-Black. Like, to me, it's just, that's not good parenting.
No, I think she was saying that you can push being pro-Black.
I'm saying you can.
Yeah,
I'm saying
like, oh, just totally ignore this other side. She's saying you can push.
Right. But you can't only.
No, what I'm saying is you can't teach them. Right. That's what she was saying. Like, she can teach like she can make it.
But there's no half season pro-Black.
But no, I think that kind of goes back to where the person who upon Twitter, I'm sorry, I forgot their name. The one that was on Twitter when they said, okay, well then you have the J. Coles, and then you have the Jesse Williams, and then you have them who when you do have these mixed children who are out here, who are pushing for the culture, who are pro-Black, you know? Yeah. So do we say that, okay, like you're still not being fair to one parent or the other? Like if you're going to be...
No, because
in a way you aren't, though.
Like I said earlier, Yara, she pushes for both. And I don't understand why it has to be one or the other.
Okay, pushing for both is not, but I'm saying, I'm not even coming for biracial people or biracial children. I'm saying it would be for me, if my mother, who I love dearly, and my father, or I'm not even going to talk about for me, my cousins, if my cousin was out here pushing for the advancement 1,000%, and 1,000%, I mean 100%, meaning it ain't no room left for you to push for nothing else. We got to understand that that's what being pro-Black is. It ain't no room for me to sit up here and push for nothing else. And I'm not saying that's...
I feel like that's in... Let's take Jesse Williams, for example. He's white and Black, correct? That he's pushing for the advancement of Black people and acknowledging his half-white privilege at the same time. So
is he pushing for white people, though?
What happened?
Is he pushing for white people?
He's not pushing for white people, but he's acknowledging it.
Exactly, but no, okay, you acknowledge, but we got to understand that our advocacy is not just in acknowledging. You can't compare his acknowledgement to the work that he's doing in the Black community. You can't compare that. So I'm saying that in terms of my advocacy and me working in the trenches, that is what I'm putting 100% into as a pro-black person. There is no room, and we have to understand, if you still have room, then we can't deem ourselves as pro-black. That's just something that can't happen.
Overall, I feel like the definition of being pro-black varies among different people.
And that's the problem.
Black people, period.
That's the problem.
Like your definition or the actions that you feel go into being pro-black are different for other people. I still feel like I can be pro-black and date outside of my race. And that's just, that's just my opinion about it. Going back to what Aaliyah had brought up about you raising your son, and I completely agree with the first thing he's going to see is you being black before you being I wholeheartedly agree with that. But at the same time, if he happens to go to school and he just happens to meet a white girl.
My son will not be going to school with no white kids. I said my son won't be going to school with no white kids. That's me being pro-black and my decisions.
At HBCUs, there are white students. There are mixed students at HBCUs.
3?
It's a mixed crowd. I know a few white students who go to HBCUs.
Hold on, wait, Tier.
Even if you were to send him to an HBCU, because then in that case, you're closing him off from the rest of the world.
Because he's going to an HBCU?
You guys, okay, we're gonna hold that thought. We need to take a quick commercial break. So, Tier, thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna hold on the line, and then we are going to take a hold on.
Who are you talking to, Aaliyah?
Y'all breaking up.
Hold on, okay. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay, give us 5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna continue this conversation. We're gonna hold off right there.
3, 2, 1.
I could be a big bad movie star with money and awards and a shiny car. I could travel across the world in a limousine. But if you ain't by my side, then what does it mean? Hey. Hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand. 'Cause I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. I could be the world's best VIP and have people celebrate when they see me. Little on me, hey. I could be a singing superstar. Where people know my songs both near and far. Hey. But when the clapping stops,
caller, you guys. Tierra,
our first
is
caller
on the line with us. Our first
Hey.
ever caller. Hey, girl.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, okay. So before the commercial break, you were asking us a question regarding HBCUs. Go ahead with your question.
My question was just about, hypothetically having a black son, teaching him about black love and being black, being pro-black, and possibly sending him to a HBCU. And my statement was, I know some white students who attend HBCUs. So what would happen, if your black son happened to meet with all these black people around? He happened to bump into this little white girl. We're going to call her Sally. He happened to bump into Sally, and he fell in love with Sally. Now, if he brought Sally home to black mama, is she going to tell him that he can't marry her because she's white?
See, this is the thing, too. I'm glad we brought this up, though, because we were talking about, having sons earlier. And I think that whenever you discourage your child from doing something, they're just going to do it, just to spite you. So I don't think that's the right approach to say, oh, yeah, you should not date them. However, for me, I would just genuinely ask them, why do you like her? I wouldn't be like, okay, why you got this white woman in my house? But I would be like, why do you like her? What is it about her? Do you see yourself building a future with her? Because I really just genuinely want to know. Ideally, I would prefer if my son were to bring home a black woman, because I would want my son to have somebody who looks like his mother, somebody who reflects his mother, and I would want him to have somebody who would understand him and take care of him in the same magnitude that I can. Right. And I don't think that a white woman can do that. Right. I don't think that any Hispanic woman can do that. I don't. So if and when I do have a son, I want him to have a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that every black woman has that capability, but I think that my chances are higher.
It's not even that we're saying every black woman. We gotta understand that even being mistreated by if you were dating and every black man mistreated you, you gotta also understand that they weren't the one. Mm-hmm. That at some point in time, that you were being with people who weren't the one. It's not that it's just black men or black women. They weren't for you. Yeah. They were never meant for you.
Hello.
So it doesn't mean that, a certain race. No, because you could go and date all white people and all of them treat you like trash too. That just means that all of them people were not the one for you. In some way, in some shape or form, God had to let you know, because you weren't removing yourself, so he had to hurt you. And he used that man to hurt you. So it's just,
okay,
it's not.
And I see that. I understand where you're coming from, but my question was, are you going to tell your black son that he cannot marry little Sally because she's not black?
I can't tell anybody who they can't marry.
Because if he says, "Ma, I genuinely love her. She's who makes me happy."
This is a huge hypothetical, though. You met a white person at a HBCU. You in Atlanta meeting white people.
That's not even.
But just in general, if your son brings home,
we gonna have a conversation about it. Like you said, because I'm my son's well-being. Mm-hmm. If my son gets pulled over by the cops, right, and he comes home and little Sally goes, "Well, babe, what did you do?" and he's beat up, mm-hmm, that's not the one for him. Right. And he don't need to educate her on why that was the wrong response. Right. So I'm not gonna say, "Hey, son, this is don't marry her," but we need to have a conversation. What's is this? And in the same way, if he were to bring home a black girl, mm-hmm, if my brothers, something that's more in real time, if my brothers brought home a white girl or a black girl, I'm being the same level of apprehensive about the black girl as I am about any girl that's coming into dating my brothers. Yeah. The same level of apprehensiveness.
Yeah. And it's no level of protection too, because I'm like, I don't really know. Y'all a little shifty sometimes. What's your family like? Okay,
for what? White people?
That should be anybody. They bring.
What's your family like?
But Mo brought up. Mo sent me a letter, mm-hmm, with the mixed black and white girl, and saying that even if you are raised around, or you have a son that is mixed and you're a white woman, that the mother was calling her son a nigger wrench or something like that, or a nigger monkey. Yeah. But they were saying that you can still be racist and still be in the face of black people. Yeah. So that's something I don't want my sons, and I don't want my sons or my brothers to ever be hurt like that, to the point where they fall in love with somebody and their family hurts them, and now they're dealing with a broken heart because they can't choose between that person's family and the person that they love, and they can't disassociate that person from their family. So then that's what we also have to realize. And when we're telling our sons or our brothers, like, you know, let's be mindful of what you're dating, it's the same way in let's say me having a daughter and her going in to marry a drug lord or some gangbangers. You're gonna be apprehensive about that too. It's not just about them. It's the same level of apprehensiveness for me. I need him to be taken care of, and I do not want my son to go through a broken heart because someone is telling him he is not okay with the skin that he's in. So that's something that we need to be mindful of when we are allowing these interracial relationships with our children.
Here, and I feel like a lot of people, and that's the thing, I don't hear anything about positive interracial relationships, because all I'm hearing right now is, what if they say this? What if their parents doing this? And I have, like I said before, there's one person in my family, she's the Filipino man. His family is holy. They love her to death. They love her to death. Their son is beautiful, like black baby, you know, like there are great interracial and successful interracial relationships. So we can't just thrive on.
So give me some pros to being in an interracial relationship.
But there are also positive.
Wait, give me some pros though to being in an interracial relationship.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Give me some pros to being in an interracial relationship.
I mean, period, love, period. Just being in love. Like,
No, you could be in love with someone that's the same race though. But I'm saying.
Some people are taking love out of it. Like, it's whoever you fall in love with, who you fall in love with, you can't help that. And like I said, I'm offered, like, when I said a few years back, I used to tell my little brother, if she can't break a comb, don't bring her home. But at the same time, I understand that there are a lot of other people out in the world. So if you were to bring home somebody who wasn't of color, I'm not going to be like, Deontay, what are you doing? You know, like, I'm going to just be like, okay, look, if she makes you happy, I'm going to fill her out. But if she makes you happy, then go for it. Because I don't want my brother to feel like, oh man, you know, my family don't like you, so I can't be with you. I gotta go find somebody that looks like me.
Okay, what is still about the pros? The pros of.
I'm supporting my family. I'm supporting my little brother in his decisions. I'm supporting him. Period. I'm pushing for his happiness. And yes, it's sad because it's like we do want to see more black love, but the world is. I mean, let's be honest. It's not gonna be like that. Everybody's not gonna follow.
And that's the problem that we are, as pro-black people, are trying to stop.
That is a problem. I understand that.
But I think that goes back to. I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the very, very beginning when we talk about just love in general when it comes to interracial dating. And I don't want anybody to think that we're just against it and we just don't like y'all.
No, there's a difference between being
But
pro-black and just being a regular person.
if we're just gonna talk about not even.
I feel like that's what you guys have to understand. That's what it sounds
But
like.
we've been saying being pro-black.
No. All we hear as listeners is a negative aspect of interracial relationships.
Because we're talking about
that they can be good.
We're talking about being pro-black though. That's what you have to understand. It's not just a regular.
Okay, not even talking about being pro-black. Okay, forget that question. I'm just talking about we're talking about interracial dating in the beginning. In the very beginning of this discussion, we said the thing is that we don't mind it. We don't care. But the thing is that what matters to us is if you're not doing it for genuine purposes. Yeah. So if your reasoning for dating Sally has to be a reason because you don't like black women, then you're not doing it for the right reason.
Then that's the problem.
That's the problem that I have.
If you dating Sally because you love her, then that's.
But it's a lot of them are dating Sally because of that reason. Not everybody is coming up to you going.
Then that's a problem. That's
not everybody's like that.
Majority.
But if somebody's dating somebody because they
you can't say that it's not. You can't say that it's not.
You can't say everybody.
You can't say that it's not.
You can only say some.
You can't say that it's not.
Your heart, you know how you feel about people, but you cannot speak for how everybody else.
And neither can you.
Go ahead. And if somebody wants to love whoever they want to love because they genuinely love that person, that doesn't bother me. I'm okay with that. But But like I said before, my biggest thing is just when you make it an issue about black women.
That's
about black women because that reflects your own self-hate. Yes. That has nothing to do with me. But like I said before, if you genuinely love that person, then by all means do that. And like I said before, I don't want nobody thinking that, you know what I'm saying, we guys got an issue and that we're just anti, like whatever. F y'all.
Like that.
But I'm just saying,
that's why we're like, that's why
because the conversation was pro-black.
So
the conversation was about being pro-black.
I was just letting you know as a listener, because it may not sound like it to you, and I understand. I totally understand where you're coming from, but as a listener, as somebody who's listening to the conversation, it sounds like I'm pro-black and I'm anti-interracial relationships.
This is what the anti.
And listening to it more, now it's kind of like, okay, after breaking it down, now I see it. Now I see what you were saying. It wasn't anti-interracial relation, but from the beginning, it sounds like. That's what I'm telling you as a listener.
Well, no, because it is that we are.
I'm anti-interracial relationships.
Yes, I'm pro-black and I'm anti-interracial relationships if the person is pro-black. That is what that's where the anti-ness came from. I said if we are black leaders, then yes. If you're a black leader, then I'm anti it. But if you're not trying to push the movement, I don't care because you don't care. But if you are pro-black, that is where my anti-ness came from. Is in saying that if you are pro-black, you cannot date outside of your race. And then it's not even levels to being pro-black. It's levels to being black, but it's not levels to being pro-black. Being pro-black is one thing. It's not levels to, the greatest, sports players that we look at. We don't say, Kobe, he's good, and then Paul Pierce is on a different level. But no, there's certain people that are a top 5. Like, we got to look at it like that. That's where my anti-ness came from. And if that's what it sounded like, that I'm being anti, then that's what it is. I'm being anti dating outside of your race as a pro-black person.
Boom. On that note, it is almost 9:30. Yes. So
thank you,
Tiara,
so much
I thank
for
you
calling in
so
as our
much.
first caller.
As our first caller, oh my goodness. Okay, so thank you so much for calling in and talking to the queens. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
We appreciate your feedback.
We do. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Of course.
Y'all keep it up.
Oh, thank you, Queen.
Amazing.
Yes, thank you, Queen. Thank you. But yeah, y'all. So
I can hang up. I'm like, I can hang up now. Okay, bye.
Yes.
Bye.
All right, you guys. So
before we close, sorry. I wasn't really satisfied with that birthday shot. Can we sing happy birthday to my sister? I think she would really like it.
I don't have like a really good singing
Oh my
voice,
gosh, it doesn't matter. Can we just sing happy birthday to her? Okay. So Amari.
I was trying to get my voice together.
Okay, so can we put it on the Queen's Table Talk page to BTW? So this goes to my little sister. She watches the show faithfully, and we just want her to know that we love her. It's her 20th birthday. She's really growing up, 20 years old. So
she's a GAR alumni too.
Go GAR. Can you do the honors, please? What am I?
We doing like
Queen's
Table
Talk.
The whole song?
It's just happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you.
Why don't we sing the black one?
Yeah, on the Queen's Table Talk one? Yeah. Can you save it from the live?
Yeah,
okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Queen.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Queen. Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all let us know when y'all birthdays, and maybe the Queens will sing to y'all too.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Shout out to JB again.
Shout out to JB too. Oh my gosh, she got baptized.
Into the kingdom, being baptized.
Coming into the kingdom.
Hallelujah. Bless God.
Yes, we're working on Hub City Drake next.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
We're working on him.
We're working on him.
To work on
a gallon of oil.
Him and the whole Homeboy Holy Ghost congregation, okay?
Yeah.
But we'll start. We'll take this, okay? So congratulations to you, JB. Yes. Oh my goodness. But yes, you guys, in the meantime, okay, catch us this Saturday. Catch us this Saturday at Saturday Night Live. And then also next week, you guys tune in because we will be giving away 2 free tickets to Bosses That Brunch. Yes. TMO will be here, okay, giving away 2 free tickets. And then also up on March 17th, you guys, what is your forte? Find the flyer on the Queen's Table Talk page. It's going to be a whole bunch of artists, the whole showcase.
Boris will be there.
Boris Forte. Hub Radio will be there. Queen's Table Talk will be there. The Scumbag Society, a lot of cool clothing, art, and food vendors will be there as well. So it's going to be in LA. Go up on our page for the flyer. With that being said, did y'all have anything else?
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, and then keep in mind March 31st is an open mic.
Yes, open mic.
It's anybody, so we're taking sign-ups at the door. Please come, because a lot of people have been asking about it and seeing how they can get to perform. So, of course, if you go out there and you blow my crowd away, then you'll be performing at the next event in April. So, March 31st is the next initiative event.
Yes, y'all make sure.
And April 6th or April 7th, whatever Saturday that is, the Hub Radio is having a block party.
The block party,
April
and then also
7th? April 7th.
And then also March 25th, we're having March Madness, y'all. Okay, if y'all can play basketball
at Rancho Dominguez. Hit us up first. Don't just come thinking you're gonna play.
Don't just show up.
Yeah. Hit us up first.
If y'all
it's
can
a
play
charity
basketball.
event. Yeah, for the charitable.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So on that note,
Good conversation though today. I'm not having that conversation with nobody else. That was my last time. I'm retiring.
I need to go lay down.
Retiring my voice in that conversation.
Yes, you guys. Okay, but it was a great discussion, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and do not forget this is Queen's Table Talk, where we help you discover,
unlock,
and protect your magic.